This is AdTech God, and this is French 101. Welcome to class. The correct pronunciation is can, like a can of soup, not like cans of soup. Now that you've graduated, I'm here to tell you about the AdTech God Crashes Adweek House event happening on June 16th at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be fun, 80s style, and takes place in an absolutely stunning hotel called The Majestic. It's right on the Croisette. If you'd like to attend, go to adtechgodevents.com and register now. Invite your friends at agencies, brands, ad tech, media, publishers, even your neighbor if he happens to be going there with you. Just kidding. But we'd love to see you there. Everyone is welcome, and we're really looking forward to this event. See you at Cannes. A word from our sponsors. Headed to Cannes? So are we. With the addition of Audigen, Experian is now your end-to-end solution for data-driven advertising, helping you understand your customers, reach them across channels, and measure what matters. The result? More relevant experiences for consumers, more revenue opportunities for publishers, and better performance for brands. Book a meeting with our team at experian.com/can. That's experian.com/CANNES.
Last week's ad tech headlines were ones that should have caused more of a ruckus across the industry. Alas, maybe we were all too distracted by Elon and DJT's relationship melting down in real time. I have some good news though. If you're listening to this pod, you have nothing to worry about. I'm Kait with Marketecture, and this is The Refresh, your weekly download on what went down in advertising. Today is Monday, June 9th, and this week we're covering off on those headlines that should have caused more uproar than they did. Adweek found blue chip brands running on what should have been an X-rated app. The FTC launched an investigation into media quality watchguards like Media Matters and AdFontes, and Meta announced plans to fully automate campaign creative with AI. So let's get into it. Starting off with the biggest brand safety scandal of late that nearly no one talked about. Late last week, Kendra Barnett over at Adweek reported on her investigation that found ads from major brands like Verizon, Amazon, and Popeyes running on X Shorts, a top-ranked Android app featuring sexually suggestive and racially offensive content. The app, which was rated teen on Google Play, was serving explicit content alongside banner and interstitial ads. These ads were delivered through major ad servers, including Meta's Audience Network, Amazon, and Epsilon. Following the report, Google removed X Shorts from the Play Store, and several ad platforms and brands took steps to block the app as well. I'll admit, when I first started reading this article, my initial reaction was to make a joke about it being a good reminder to go pull a site list if you haven't done so recently. That joke pretty much immediately fizzled as I kept reading and realized that this issue came all the way from the top. The app wasn't classified appropriately, and Google didn't catch it, obviously. To some degree, when it comes to brand safety, the ad industry is relying on everyone to do their due diligence. But here's the thing. Time and time again, it's been proven that very few are actually doing their due diligence.
This podcast is brought to you by AudioHook, the leading independent audio DSP. AudioHook has direct publisher integrations into all major podcast and streaming radio platforms, providing 40% more inventory than what could be accessed in omnichannel DSPs. What's more, AudioBook has full transcripts on more than 90% of all podcast inventory, enabling advanced contextual targeting and brand suitability. AudioHook is so confident that in addition to CPM buys, they offer the industry's only pay-for-performance option, where brands can scale audio and podcasting with peace of mind knowing they are only paying for outcomes. Visit audiohook.com to learn more. That's audiohook.com.
And while I think ad tech itself is starting to make genuine efforts at resolving issues of brand safety and media quality, we're being handicapped by some of the biggest players. Google, Meta, Amazon, all failing to put up adequate checkpoints because, quite honestly, it's not in their best interest to do so. This incident yet again underscores the challenges we're facing when it comes to ensuring brand safety within an enormously complex programmatic advertising ecosystem. And while AI is poised to solve for these problems in a more sophisticated, granular, reliable capacity, it's still early days. I would love to see the industry start to use advanced AI tools like LLMs in a broader capacity to analyze page data, understand where ads are running, and evaluate where ads have run. And I have no idea if this would be effective, but I'm so curious. Can someone upload a site list into ChatGPT and let me know how it goes? Is it worthwhile? Is it a total bust? Does it identify any low quality or completely undesirable sites, or is the data not standardized or reported out on in a way that ChatGPT would be able to easily identify these? Moving on, Earlier this year, I said that Meta would make a more earnest, or maybe aggressive, push for advertisers to use more of their AI. And so far, this seems to be exactly what's happening. The company announced plans to fully automate ad creation and targeting using AI by the end of 2026. Advertisers will be able to input a product image and budget, and Meta's AI will generate complete ads, including imagery, video, and text, and determine optimal targeting on Facebook and Instagram. While this could be a boon for small and mid-sized businesses lacking creative resources, many brands of all sizes are concerned about ceding creative control and the quality of AI-generated content, especially within systems that aren't exactly known for their transparency. As of today, June 9th, 2025, I'm skeptical of this application of AI. I just don't think we're at a point where the tools are legitimately smart and fine-tuned enough to do this successfully. And it's not because I don't think the tech itself isn't capable. It's become very clear that AI can now generate some incredibly convincing ad creative and product photography. Personally, I just don't think the platforms like Meta are incentivized to do this well on behalf of advertisers. Personal anecdote, recently I was perusing threads, as some of us will do, when I came across an ad from a race I'd run back in the fall. They were promoting the 2025 race with what was clearly very bad AI-generated creative. Many commenters were perplexed and upset, saying, why couldn't you have just used the plethora of race photography you surely have available to make these ads? The brand replied back saying, and I quote, "These were a mistake, auto-generated by the Facebook ad variations, and we just caught them and stopped them all. Sorry, y'all." I think people are generally pretty forgiving in these scenarios, especially for brands they like or respect, but I don't think that this can be relied on. Because at what point will we become so disillusioned and numb to the sea of sameness that we tune out ads even more than we already do? And even from brands that we like. I do have to play devil's advocate with myself for a moment. The only way I see AI-generated creative being worthwhile is if these platforms can get it right. If at some point, the AI can truly understand a given user well enough to know exactly what creative messaging, and not just imagery, will be most effective. And I just don't think we're there yet. I'm an AI believer, but I'm also a believer that good creative will always be the most effective creative. And brands should have control over how they're showing up, especially when they're paying for it. Finally, the FTC has initiated an investigation into advertiser boycotts, examining whether coordinated actions by advertisers to pull spending from certain platforms constitute anti-competitive behavior. The move comes amid increasing scrutiny over how advertisers respond to content moderation policies and platform controversies. The FTC issued civil investigative demands, which are basically subpoenas to organizations like Media Matters and Ad Fontes Media, requesting that they disclose details around their operations, communications, financials, and industry relationships with partners like the Interactive Advertising Bureau, Check My Ads, Double Verify, and IAS. The FTC, and the government more broadly, have been clear that they're on a mission to give more freedom to free speech. And these efforts are spilling over into the ad industry's domain. Whether that's Meta choosing to loosen up their content moderation policies or industry watchguards and media quality providers being subject to legal scrutiny. Advertisers should absolutely have agency to spend their media dollars in spaces that align to their brand values or standards and wherever allows them to meet their performance goals. What was once a positive for advertisers, the ability to fund the quality of content you want to see more of and you want to support on the web, has now become a negative and a risk. Choosing not to fund hate speech or misinformation is not censorship and also should not be controversial, but advertisers have found themselves in an era where it is. All in all, the investigation could have significant implications for how brands navigate social and political pressures in their advertising decisions, while also having serious implications for how effective our media quality gatekeepers and watchdogs are able to be. That's all for this week's refresh. These are important stories that deserve more airtime, and I'm glad you joined us to talk about them. Catch you next week.